Hello everyone, we are live for this little stream. Let me just quickly check all this sort of stuff is good. So yeah, hello everyone, we are here. I'm going to be doing a tier list ranking video of all of the different drivers championship winning and constructors championship winning F1 cars. Oh, is it not recording? Hello everyone, we should be live. Is it recording? Is it not? We'll see about that. We'll see if it is. Let me just check on my phone if we are live. Let me just check on my phone if we're live. We should be. We are. Hopefully we'll get some people watching. I'll wait for people to get in and start watching. Just replying to some messages, and if no one's going to be in just yet, I'll get the chat up on my phone. No one's watching, but that's not ideal. Oh, we have a viewer. We have one viewer. We have one viewer. I'm waiting for them to say something in the chat. But I think with that, we may as well get going. Obviously, I've done it in chronological, not chronological order. The teams are displayed in alphabetical order, as opposed to chronological order, in this ranking. So we will be looking at all of the different teams and all of the different championship-winning cars throughout F1 history and ranking them on a scale based from S through to D, and if I don't know them, which would be very unlikely, they'll be going the do not know category. Yep, my audio is working just fine. I'm just checking it was. So yeah, we have one viewer at the moment, which is unfortunate. I'd expect more usually. I just need to quickly respond to a message. And so yeah, I think with that and our one singular viewer, I think we should get going for this stream. Right, first car on the tier list is the 1950 Alfa Romeo 158159 Alfetta. Now, I immediately think this is going in at least A tier, because basically what I'm going to do is, I've probably said this before, I'm going to rank these cars based on both iconicness, like how much they, I'm going to rank the cars based on how much they actually made an impact on Formula 1, their historical impact. Because obviously, a car that, for example, started the F1 Championship is going to have a lot of historical impact, even if it wasn't that good. As Remy says, it's me! And Bois says, Guten Tag, Guten Tag. Hello. So yeah, I'm going to do it based on historical impact. I'm going to do it based on actual performance of the car relative to other cars around it. And that's probably it. Performance, impact, and maybe longevity. Maybe not, because I suppose it's a championship winning car in that year. So this is, as I said, the 1950 Alfa Romeo. Instantly, I want to put it in at least A, just based on historical impact, the fact that it was the first F1 car, and it was by far and away the only good car that year, obviously, apart from, it won every single race apart from the Indy 500, which I'm not counting for this tier list. Obviously, there's no, obviously because the Indy 500 cars didn't win an F1 championship, but I'll put it in A tier for now. Then I think this is, right, is this, I think that's a Ferrari. Hold on, I'm just going to quickly look. That's a Ferrari logo. That's a 1952 Ferrari, I think. That's a Ferrari 500. Right, that's going in S tier. that is going in S tier. That car is the most, still to this day, I think it's the most dominant car in F1 history, even more so than the modern Red Bulls. I think there was one time, I think it was either Spa in 1952 or 1953, because obviously the reason why it's gone straight from 1950 to 1952 is because of the fact that Alfa Romeo used the exact same car in 1950 as they did in 1951. Going on to Ferrari, they're more dominant than modern day Red Bull, because I remember looking at I think qualifying from Spa one year, I think it was 1952 or 1953, and the gap between the fastest Ferrari and the fastest next non-Ferrari car was like 12 seconds at Spa. I think it might have been 1952, because I think towards the end of 1953, the other teams started getting a bit closer, and I think Fangio and Hawthorne won one of the races in 1953, and sorry, not Hawthorne, either Fangio or Gonzalez won one of the races and stopped it, as we see. Wouldn't this be the MCL with Prost and Senna be more considered the most dominant? No, this is why I think that the McLaren is less dominant, because yes, it was head and shoulders above the field, but it wasn't 5 seconds a lap quicker than anyone else head and shoulders above the field like the 1952 Ferrari was. And also, if it wasn't for the Indy 500, that 1952 Ferrari would have won every single race that year. I know it's less races, so it's easier to win all of them, but also considering the reliability of that era, they nearly won all races anyway, is a miracle. Then this is 1953. I think that's the same Ferrari. I'm going to put it in the same category. The 1953 Ferrari was less dominant than the 1952 Ferrari because everyone else had just caught up, really. They'd caught up a little bit. Then that's the Mercedes W196. So it's weird because at the start I think it's in chronological order, and then they go into Benetton, which isn't in chronological. Then it goes Brabham, then it goes Brawn, then it goes, because I've downloaded this tier list. I haven't actually made this tier list myself. I've downloaded it, so it seems that it's gone in chronological order for a bit, and then it's gone on to alphabetical order. I also added in cars that won the Constructors' Championship and not the Drivers' Championship, because in this tier list it clearly says only Drivers' World Championship winning cars, but I've added in the Constructors' Championship winning cars because I thought I'd get a bit of extra content in there. But anyway, Mercedes W196 is A tier for me. It was dominant, but less so than the Ferrari, and I mean, with the Streamliner version it was also very unique. I'd probably put it in A tier, because it was legendary, but it wasn't fully iconic status like the Ferrari was. The Lancia Ferrari D50. Obviously, a car that was initially penned by Lancia, but they ran out of money after Alberto Ascari died. Not directly related, those two things, but they are similarly related. Like you can draw the lines between when Ascari dies and when Lancia has to sell their design to Ferrari. Yeah, Fangio obviously won the championship in this car. I think it's definitely at least A tier. Obviously pioneered the concept of side pods, but not in the modern day sense of aerodynamics. I mean, actually it might have been a little bit about aerodynamics because they realised that if they keep the air going in a straight line then it might work. But those are fuel tanks on the side, so they put the fuel tanks on the side rather than where they usually put them, which was, I think, behind the driver. Or I don't know where they put the fuel tanks. But because they didn't refuel mid-race back then. But yeah, I think this goes in at least A tier. Based on importance, I mean, it's important, but it's not the most important car in F1 history, the Lancia D50. It's underrated, but it's not the complete most important car in F1 history. Then we've got the Maserati 250F. Maserati 250F. This is a car that obviously Fangio won his last championship in. Iconic. Anyone who's played Assetto Corsa knows that this is a really nice car to drive. It's pretty much one of my favourite cars to drive in any sort of sim, because it's an old F1 car that doesn't just snap on you every 5 seconds. But yeah, right, so I'm trying to think where I'm going to put this. I think it belongs in, again, at least in A tier. It wasn't really innovative, but it was dominant. Or was it? No, the Van Wars are also up there. And I think Ferrari was also up there. So maybe less so than the D50. And actually, yeah, I'll put it in behind the actually I'll put it in B tier. Behind the Alpha 158. Then that is the I am still amazed by your F1 knowledge. I am good with it. Way above the average. You are like in the top 1% or something. Don't tell you the reason why that is. That's because of a great thing called autism, where you hyper-focus on one particular subject and learn everything about it constantly for a long time, and you just build up a level of knowledge. Non-autistic people, I can understand how they don't understand how I can just pick out a car and go, oh yeah, that's that. But it is also how my brain works. Right, next one is the 1958 Ferrari driven by Mike Hawthorne. Now, this car isn't particularly outstanding in any way. It won one race in the hands of Hawthorne. I don't think it won any races in the hands of everyone else. So it's probably the worst car in terms of win percentages to win an F1 championship. Actually, no, because that would be the 1982 Williams, because Reutemann never won a race in it, and neither did Andretti or Derek Daly, surprisingly. But yeah, only won one race, and shouldn't have won the championship, if I'm being frankly honest. No, mate, I get it. I'm autistic. That's why I have solid F1 knowledge. I have top 1% knowledge in a few other fields. Yeah, fair enough. C tier, I'd say, for this car. It's bang average in terms of... I don't think there should be a D tier, because you can't get a bad championship-winning car. Next one is the 1959 Cooper, driven by Jack Brabham to his first world title. Because obviously Jack had been in... what car? I think he was driving either BRMs or Coopers in the early part of his F1 career, because his first F1 start came in 1955, but he didn't even get any. I don't think he even got points until 1958, and then started winning in 1959. I mean, the only real thing that I know from his early career was that of a 1957 Pescara Grand Prix, Brabham, he was, because of that stupid long lap, he was running out of fuel halfway around that massive 25-kilometre lap, and he came into and instead of going back to the pits to get more fuel, he stopped at a nearby petrol station and refueled there. That's the only thing I know about Jack Brabham's early career. But this 1959, it doesn't stand out to me. I don't think it was particularly dominant. I remember wins from Sterling Moss. I think won a couple of races. Tony Brooks won a couple of races. I think Van Wall was still kicking about around then. You can have a bad championship car because we are rating every championship winning car, and we are rating them in relation to each other and not to the cars in the season. That's a good point, actually. I didn't consider that. That's a really good point. I didn't consider that. Fair enough. Cooper, I'd probably put it, because it wasn't one championship. It wasn't one race winning. It wasn't. I won one race bad, but it was. Not the greatest. I'll put it in B tier along with the Maserati 250F. Then his 1960 winning car. I also forgot it wasn't just Jack Brabham winning in that car. It was Bruce McLaren as well. And I think it was the same in 1960. I think Brabham was more dominant. I swear he won like 5 races on the bounce in 1960. Which is incredible considering the reliability of that. Or at least he took 5 race wins that season in consecutive races that he finished, I think. So I'll put it along in, maybe up in, no, I'll put it ahead of a Maserati 250F, but it doesn't have a historical impact to go into the A tier, I don't think. Okay, here we're going to alphabetical order now. We're going to go to the Benetton B194, Schumacher's first championship winning car, one of, if not the most controversial seasons in F1 history, 1994 that is. But the thing was, though, in relation to all the championship winning cars, it wasn't the fastest car. Not across any part of the season was the Benetton the faster car over the Williams. Maybe at the start when the Williams was a bit sketchy, but in terms of raw pace, the Williams was always the fastest. Maybe not in terms of consistency, because it was an absolute dog to drive. But I'm just going to close my phone because I've got the chat up on my laptop. 1994 Benetton. I mean, historical impact, I'm trying to think, did it pioneer anything? I mean, not really. It wasn't a pioneer of anything. It was just an amalgamation of a lot of good parts, and it had a really good driver behind it who knew how to work it, clearly, because Schumacher, despite not having the best car, made it look like he had the best car just on pure terms of results. maybe that's an indictment of how bad Damon Hill was in that season. But yeah, I think this goes in upper B tier because it doesn't have any sort of standout. Like, it did this, but what was that noise? It doesn't have any standout. It did this, but it doesn't have any standout bad things. So it goes in B tier. I think it's also important to rate the car in regards of the car with less consideration to the driver. I know it's hard, but Schumi being in 1994 shouldn't impact the rating a lot more than the car. Yeah, fair enough. 1995 Benetton. This was even more so less the best car. Williams had the best car 2 years running and still didn't win the championship, which baffles me. Same with a couple of other cars later on. I'm trying to think if the 1995 Benetton pioneered anything either. I don't think it did. I think, again, it was just an amalgamation of evolution from the B192, which was, I think, the first car to have that kind of modern nose type. Well, not modern, but up until 2013, modern nose type, where it's kind of like a high nose and it is like a two-pillar. Because I was watching a video on the history of front wings. I can't remember who it was by, but I was watching a video on the history of front wings because it talks about the anahedral one from Tyrrell and stuff. I'll probably put this one above the 94 car because I think it was slightly better. But yeah. Next one is the 1981 Brabham, driven by Nelson Piquet to his first title. I don't think it was particularly innovative. Because Piquet was winning races through 1979 and 1980. It's just in 1981, I think it just all came together for him. And I think Williams won a couple of races. Ferrari were getting back from their 1980 slump. So it wasn't completely dominant. And it wasn't particularly innovative either. I'd probably put it behind the Benettons and ahead of the Coopers. The B194 is for sure the level of... the B194 is D for sure. The level of cheating they did on that car was unprecedented. I mean, you could say that, but you could also talk about how they didn't get caught. Because, like, yes, it's pretty well known that they had option 13. Oh, hydropneumatic suspension. You're right. I forgot on the Brabham. That's yep. That puts it up ahead of the Benettons. I completely forgot about hydropneumatic suspension. That's me. Oh yeah, because it was the whole fucking ground effect thing. Yep. I should have known that. That's stupid on me. Anyway, back to the B1. Yeah, it's tough to rank the B194 now. I've remembered about the cheating scandals because obviously we know about option 13. Officially, there's no way to prove they had traction control. Obviously, everyone believes they had traction control, but there is a small chance. Let me just sort out my hair. There is a small chance that that there wasn't traction control, and I want to believe that Benetton weren't complete and utter cheaters, even though they were. Anyway, 1983 Brabham, the BT, is it the 53 or is it? I just got that number completely wrong. The 1981 Brabham, another car that was supposedly completely illegal, but Bernie being Bernie, nobody said anything. Well, Bernie was still in charge of Brabham at this time. But Bernie didn't become like a major figure in the FIA until the late 80s, when he sold Brabham eventually. But yeah, this was a pretty innovative car. In fact, that obviously you can't see from this angle, but it looked insane. It was it doesn't look like any other F1 car really. It had no side pods. Well, not really. It had just a really weird design. I don't know what exactly the reason was. Gordon Murray was just on crack when designing this car, I think. I don't think it was particularly innovative in any particular way. It was the first season they properly integrated the BMW turbo engines, but that's obviously not innovative. A turbo engine when 5 billion other teams have done it isn't really innovative. He wasn't particularly dominant either, because this is one of those seasons where the car that won the Drivers' Championship is not the same as the one that won the Constructors' Championship, because Ferrari won the Constructors. BT52, designed as a pit stop special. Oh yeah, so BT50. I said BT53. I was one off. But yeah, I think this goes at least in B tier. I'll probably put it ahead of the Benettons because although it wasn't particularly innovative in any way, it was different to every other car in F1 history. The Brawn Well, first of all, it was very dominant. First of all, it was incredibly dominant, at least for the first part of the season, and then fell off towards the second part of the season. Double diffuser. They didn't invent. I don't think it invented the concept of a double diffuser, but it definitely was the first to implement it in Formula One and have it successful. Definitely ahead of these lot. But again, this one will be hard to rank because although it was first for most of the season, towards the end of the season, I think it was like the 5th or the 6th quickest car because like you look at their end of season results. I mean, Barrichello was still pushing it to podiums, but Button was really struggling towards the end of that season. He was getting like 5th and 6th places. Had the season been like one, I just completely forgot what I was going to say. Because obviously, if there had been like 1 or 2 more races, there's a genuine chance that Vettel could have won a championship because Button would have just not been able to get the points. If they'd have kept the Canadian and French Grand Prix like they were supposed to, it could have genuinely been a completely different championship outcome. It beat all the big contenders, though. It did beat all the contenders. This is a tough one. Because it was... I think it's the only car to be dominant at the start of a season and not at all at the end of the season. I think contextually it is A tier, even though the drop off in results at the end. Yeah, I can agree with that. I'll put it at the bottom of A tier because these cars in front are so much more dominant over the course of the season. Sniff Petrol was so funny before the Brawn GP car test. Was that Top Gear reference? They were lucky, but also did the impossible. Yeah. Next one is this a Brabham? That looks like an F3 car. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. That looks like an F3 car. It's not an F1 car. It looks small. It looks tiny. Brawn. It can't be a Brabham. Because it doesn't go alphabetically. It's not a Cooper, is it? This is awful F1 knowledge, by the way, from me. It's 1960s. It's got to be a Brabham, surely. Because it won it in 1966 and 67. Or did they race in green? Because they were a British team, although they were owned by an Australian. Or is it a BRM? It might be a BRM. That's a good point. I think it's a BRM. I think it is a BRM. If it drives like an F3 car, it must be the current Alpine, yeah. I've completely... Hold on, let me... I shouldn't be doing this in the middle of this, but I'm going to quickly do some Googling. Is it the BRM P62? Oh, of course it doesn't come up. Oh, is it 261? Sorry, not the P62. No, it isn't. That is not the same car. Oh, that's a later one. If I go to its predecessors or something. Oh, bollocks. This is awful F1 knowledge, by the way, from me. Quickly, let me just see. Because it would have been Graham Hill's 1962 winning car is what I'm thinking. Just show me their World Championship results. Oh, the full Grand Prix results is in a different tab. Ah! Is it the... right, it's the P57. What is the P57? That is the P57. P57 V8. Thank you, is that... How do you pronounce it? Is that a Reich? That looks like a very Central European name. Yeah. Anyway, so that is a BRM P57. Thank you. Obviously, Graham Hill won the championship. His first championship. It wasn't a particularly great season because it was just bad reliability for everyone, really. And Graham was the only real guy to clutch up and manage to beat Jim Clark on pure pace, which is why I think he's really underrated. Not particularly innovative, not particularly fantastic. I'll probably put it in... Let me just check something. Yeah. I'll put it in, I'd say C tier. I also call it Alpine instead of Alpine. Oh yeah, you're all talking about Alpine in the comments. Yeah, Alpine aren't very good. This one could be a Brabham. I think, yeah, because there's two of them. Yeah, that makes sense. Brabham, I assume that's a 1966 car, and I assume that's a 1967 car. Obviously, the only car to win, the 1966 car is the only car to win a race in the hands of an owner-driver. Sorry, win a championship in the hands of an owner-driver. My F1 knowledge has just fallen out of the window. I wouldn't call this particularly innovative, but I would say it was not a level above the field, but it was pretty good. I'll probably put that there. And then the 1967 car was pretty good. I'll put the 1967 car ahead of the 1966 car. Yeah, you're all talking about Alpine in the comments. Watching them in Japan was pure pain. It was pure pain. Like they started near the top 10 and they were starting to go really well, and then you just see them slowly falling back in the results sheets. Next one is the Sharknose Ferrari from 1961. Obviously, Phil Hill's championship winning car. He won one race that season. He won one race that season. And I'm trying to think. What I might do eventually, because I realised that my phone was better at picking up comments just as they came in. This is ultimate professionalism. Load, you stupid phone! Thank you. It wasn't particularly innovative. Coopers, mid-engines. Oh yeah, mid-engines. I'm a spanner. I completely forgot about Cooper's mid-engines. No, actually. It was Vanwall who debuted the rear-engine cars, and then it was Cooper who invented the mid-engine cars. I am a spanner. I just completely forget about it when it happens. So are these the Brabham cars then? The ones I thought were Coopers are actually Brabhams? The green cars? Oh my god. Have I got Coopers and Brabhams the wrong way round? Yes, because Brabhams were... So Coopers were in black. Coopers were in black and Brabhams were in green. That rings a bell. If I look at the... not the Ferrari 3... Brabham... Let's go through... 1962. No, it goes 1966. 1966 Formula 1 season. Oh, it's in black and white. Of course it is. Bollocks. They used the Brabham BT19. Yep. I got Brabhams and Coopers the wrong way around. Fuck. Jesus Christ. I blame Nicholas Latifi. Right, the Brabhams are not these. They are the Coopers. I'll put them ahead of the Benettons. Nobody saw that. And the Brabham, yeah, they can stay where they are. Anyway, the 1961 Ferrari. 1961 Ferrari. Again, I can't think of anything innovative in 1961 Ferrari. Your autism diagnosis is really being tested. Yeah, because I'm either consistently good with F1 knowledge or consistently forgetting literally everything. Michael Massey has hacked your F1 knowledge. It was a human error or something. Oh, funny. Funny. 1961 Ferrari. I mean, it was innovative in the way that it became a human lawnmower in Monza, but apart from that, I don't really think it was that innovative. Nor was it particularly dominant because Sterling Moss won a race or two, even though he put in drives of his life to get those wins. That's what I thought someone just knocked on the door then. I'll probably put it in C tier because it was also not because also Phil Hill didn't have the greatest season in the world, to be honest. I'll probably put it just ahead of a 1958 Ferrari. 1964 Ferrari was John Surtees's one. Again, another one where it's got a good driver story, but it hasn't got a good like car story. I don't think it was particularly innovative. And this is where it turns out it produced a rocket engine or something like that. But the car itself wasn't particularly good. I'd probably put it in C tier. Next up is Niki Lauda's 1975 and 6, because they haven't put... Have they not put his 1975 car? Oh no, because the 126 was used in some form from 1975 until 1981. 6 years running, and yeah, 1975. Obviously, the 1975. This is the 1976 version of a car. I know that because the 1975 version had an airbox that went up to here. The massive airboxes from the 1975 season. I mean, the fact that it lasted for 6 seasons obviously counts for something, even though towards the end of that run it wasn't great, 1980 being the prime example, because of ground effect. But it wasn't particularly innovative in any sort of way, I don't think. But it was obviously a massive longevity car. I'd probably put it behind the Coopers in front of the Benettons. The Ferrari 126, I C2. No, actually, sorry, no. That Ferrari was not the 126. It was a 312 T2. This is the 126s. This is coming back to me now. I'm gonna go for just behind that one because it's not particularly innovative in any way. Then that one is right. This is the first car I think that I put in myself because it's a champion. It's a constructors' championship. Prepare for the incoming avalanche of S tier Ferraris. Yeah, it wasn't particularly because obviously this car it won a constructors' championship, but not a drivers' championship. It won a constructors' championship, but not a drivers' championship. It won the 1982 and 83 constructors' championship without winning the drivers' ones. I'm trying to think of something it did or something it didn't do. No recent Ferrari. Yeah, there's no recent Ferraris at the moment. 1960, 1982 and 1983. There was no... Obviously, I think they'd finally moved from the flat 12 because of the events of 1981 and moved to a V12 or something like that. 1950 Alfetta, so totally dominant. This isn't just about dominance. This is about like innovation and stuff. And all, I mean, you can't innovate when there's nothing to innovate from. I know there's like pre-war Grand Prix cars, but this is based in F1. Yeah. It's not based on just domination, it's based on innovation. And I mean, the reason why the Ferraris are there just purely on domination is because they were so clear of anything else, like 5 seconds a lap clear on most circuits. But anyway, back to the 1982. I think that would probably go there. Then another car that won the constructors but not the drivers, the 1999 Ferrari. Again, wasn't particularly innovative. 1951 Alfetta, Ferrari caught up to it, so it was showing its age, despite its lineage dates back to the late 30s. B. That's a good point. I mean, yeah. ish. I mean, yeah, because I think Gonzalez and Ascari won a couple of races in the 51 season. We'll go towards changing the rankings in a bit once I've put them all in. The 1999 Ferrari, 1952 F2 Ferrari, dominant, but it was an F2 car. C. I disagree. Although it was an F2 car by regulation, it was an F1 car by definition because it was in the Formula 1 World Championship. And it was also so dominant. Like, the other teams could have easily... Because the reason why they put it to F2 cars was to stop Ferrari from dominating, so teams at least had a chance. And Ferrari still dominated. But the 1999 Ferrari, I'd probably put it around about the BRM kind of pace, because it wasn't particularly innovative. It was quite fast though. Here we go, the 2000 Ferrari. It wasn't particularly innovative, but it was a championship winning car that was very fast. Just as fast as a McLaren in some parts. 2000 to 2004 Ferraris are basically all at it. I disagree with the 2000 Ferrari being all that. I'd probably put it ahead of a Brawn, but behind that one. Then the 2000 right, so 2001, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, so 2001. 2001 wasn't a fantastic season for Ferrari. McLaren won quite a few races. Williams won quite a few races. I'm trying to think of any other team. I don't think any other teams did win races. But Schumacher wasn't handed that title on a plate. Montoya and who was the other one? Was it Coulthard? Ran him right to the line. I think it was just Montoya who ran him to the line. It might be. I saw there was 3 guys within 10 points right at the end of the season. But I'll put it in A tier, behind the 2000 car. 2002. 2002 goes under the radar because of how good the 2004 car was, but it's still in S tier. I'd probably put it ahead of the 1953 car, but behind the 1952 one. Schumacher still won the title comfortably. Did he? It's 2003 that I'm thinking of, with Montoya and Raikkonen. I'll put this car. This is 2003, so I'll put it. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I'll put it ahead of the Alfa, behind the Ferrari. 2004 Ferrari. Let me just find the place for this. I'd still put it behind the 1952 Ferrari. I don't care what anyone says about that being controversial. I do care, because if you leave the stream, I'll cry. I'll cry myself to sleep. But 2007 Ferrari. I forgot to put in the 2008 one in. I forgot to put the 2008 one in as well, but oh well. 2007 Ferrari. He wasn't particularly dominant. Obviously, McLaren won the Constructors' Championship. But right, I mean, yeah, it was a good car. It was a joint best car for pretty much the entire season. Was it one of the first cars to put on like rabbit ears, or was that all in 2008? I think that was all in 2008. I'll put it there. No, I'll put it ahead of the 1999 Ferrari. Right, Lotus 25. Jim Clark's championship winning car. The 2007 McLaren, sorry, I meant Ferrari. Yep, same thing, yep. No, it's at least an A tier, this 25, because of... Well, actually, no, it's at least an S tier because of monocoque chassis. No, just because of the monocoque chassis, the fact that that's still in use today. I don't think it had any other big changes apart from the monocoque chassis. It wasn't. I mean, obviously, Clark took a 100% points record because that's just how Jim Clark drives. But whether that was the car or whether that was him is... Well, obviously, that car was the best in 1963. There's no doubt about that. But whether Clark absolutely thrashed it, and made it better than it actually was. I'll probably put it ahead of a 1953 Ferrari, but not ahead of anything else. Maserati 250F Sterling Moss liked it. I mean, it wasn't. I don't think it was. The reason why I put it in. Where did I put it? B tier was because it's not particularly innovative and it wasn't particularly dominant. I swear Van Wall and who was the other team? Ferrari. No, Ferrari. I don't think Ferrari won a race in 1957, but Van Wall definitely did, and they weren't completely dominant. They probably don't deserve to be right at the bottom of B tier, though. I'll probably change that. I'll probably put them ahead of a 1982 Ferrari. This is the Lotus 49. Yes, the Lotus 49. I think this is the wingless one that Graham Hill won his championship with in 1968. The first car, or the first championship winning car, was a Ford Cosworth DFV. The first car to have... it had a couple of big innovations. It had... I don't think it had aerofoil wings, but it definitely had a little splitters in the... like what a front wing is nowadays. I'm trying to think of any other stuff that it had. I swear someone put a video out saying it was like the blueprint of modern F1. Because obviously it did have the monocoque chassis. I'll put it in... I'll put it in S tier along with... The 1958 Ferrari was the first of the Dinos. Did they have Dino F1 cars? I thought the only Dino I remember was the 246, the road car, or the one that Richard Hammond used on that one Top Gear special. Then we move into oh no, I've got that wrong. That's a 1965 car, not the 1968 car, because that is a 1968 car with the Gold Leaf Lotus sponsorship. Never mind. That's Clark's 1965 winning car. Bollocks. I'll still keep it there though, because it's still on the same level. 1968 Lotus is Graham Hill's championship winning car. The 49. Is it the 49 or is it the 49C? I think it's the 49C. Graham Hill's last championship winning car. Obviously that was the first car. Any cars before the year before 1970s I can't identify the year of. Yeah, I just thought I forgot that Clark won a second championship, which is sacrilege considering how much I rate him. Brabham BT52, first turbo champ that were banned later that decade and made pit stops a thing you had to do. I could search up which year each car is, but then that'd me admitting that I don't have enough F1 knowledge to just know them off by heart. I bet that is a 1965 Lotus. That's the Lotus. That's a Brabham. What the as if that's an actual Brabham. Oh, go away. No way. So what are these then? That's a Brabham, I can tell you that for a fact. Brabham BT19. But then it says Team Lotus. That says a Lotus 33. Why are all the cars so similar looking? Oh, for goodness sake. That is a Brabham though, because it's the same picture as that. This is just making me look like an absolute mong. Well, I am, but... ha ha! So you can't find that one. So that's just... yeah. Anyway. Right, 1965. I've got a right of mind to bin off this video idea and just start doing some Sporkle quizzes to recover my F1 knowledge. More aero, more wings. After this car's I had to bolt on wings and more sponsorships. That's actually a good point. Sponsorships is something I didn't consider. Obviously, not really innovative in terms of car design, but it is innovative in terms of F1. I'll put it around about these two Ferraris. I think after this, what I will do, by the way, for everyone who's had to sit through the shit show of me trying to spill my way through F1 knowledge, I will do some Sporkle quizzes so I can recover my F1 knowledge. Good day, Nedzo, says Cameron Bell. Hello, my friend. How are you today? Next one is a 1970 Lotus, Jochen Rindt car, championship winning car. That belongs up around this sort of era, sort of page. It wasn't particularly... I mean, it just expanded on everything else. I would like to say it makes it look like a different word, but YouTube would ban me if I use that. You can call me a cunt, I do not care. Or an idiot, or a spaz, or I don't care. Next one is the... I want to say that's a Lotus 72, but I don't trust anything now. Is that the... No, actually, that might be the Lotus 78. Is it the Lotus 78? Well, it's not. There's one that you can't see that's off the screen that says 2001. It's just not, though, is it? That's not PK and Prost at the 1983 Dutch Grand Prix. That's just not what it is, though, is it? I don't know. I don't know where that image is from. That looks like a Lotus 78 to me. Oh, it's a Lotus 72. It's a Lotus 72D, is it? Right. Okay. Side radiators. I think they still do that now. They do. They can't put... I mean, they have an airbox now, obviously. But that's just an addition. Lotus 72 was fairly innovative. I'll put it up in here with the Ferraris and other Lotuses. That's a Matra. Or is it a Tyrrell? No, it's a Matra. It's a Matra. I'm confident that's a Matra. Obviously, the only privateer entry to win a Formula 1 championship, because obviously it was a Matra, but it was ran by Tyrrell. The only time a privateer ever won a Formula 1 championship. Obviously the only non-Italian or British team to win a championship as well, which is actually crazy to think of. Or the only non-Italian or British-based team, before anyone says Mercedes and Red Bull, that's what I mean. Jochen Rindt was a 72. I am miles behind. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, that doesn't help. On this episode of Ned's tried to identify... Yeah, after this, I'm going to do some Sporkle quizzes to try and recover some of my F1 knowledge so that you all think I'm not completely and utterly dumbass. I was right in the one being the 78 then, wasn't I? For once, I was right. The 1969 Matra. It's still wild to think that Schumacher was the first German driver champion. I don't think it is. I mean, obviously, before in the pre-war era, you had people like Caracciola and Rosemeyer and Stuck, and who else? And Von Brautich. But I think after the war, I think a lot of there wasn't really many German drivers, and those who were there were from the pre-war era and then eventually faded out. German drivers were mediocre between Von Trips and Schumacher. That's a fair point. Jochen Mass, Hans-Joachim Stuck, or Stuck, should I say? Nedzo washed. It's Hoverd for him. Well, first of all, that's very close to a Spanish swear word, and it's also the name of the first ever Spanish driver in F1 history, Joan Hoverd, who took part in the 1951 Spanish Grand Prix. Mass was okay, but his one race win came from a shortened race, and also that race was one of the most fraudulent races in F1 history. Like, well, it was like you had Andretti leading, you had Depailler leading, you had Stommelen, you had Rolf Stommelen leading in an Embassy Hill, and he still didn't win on pure merit. So Beloff might have been gone on to be great if it wasn't for the fatal crash at Spa. That's completely fair. Obviously, Jackie Ickx took him out, didn't he? Didn't he? Yeah. Or not took him out, but there were rumours that Jackie Ickx was salty that Beloff was faster than him, and so he took him out. Rumours. I'm going to say rumours because that's obviously very controversial to say that he might have killed someone on purpose, because he didn't. Fittipaldi in 1974. I can tell you that is his 1974 car because it looks completely different to the M23 that Hunt drove. It's a meme people buying Joe Biden said it's Jova or Oh yeah, there's a lot of Joe Biden memes like the Let's Go Brandon meme that happened in NASCAR. The Let's Go Brandon, that was quite funny. The 1974 McLaren. This was the 1983 Brabham faced stiff competition from the Renault, Ferrari, and Lotus that season. I put it higher just because of it just looked funky. It was the weirdest looking F1 car probably ever. No side pods, nothing else really. 1974 McLaren. I'd probably put it there. It wasn't particularly innovative. Every car of the 1970s was innovative, you could say, because what the cars looked like at the start of the decade and what the cars looked like at the end of the decade is miles apart. 1998 McLaren, I mean, it had the third brake pedal, at least for part of the season. It had... What else did it have? I mean, it was also quite dominant. Not quite dominant. But that and the Ferrari were very, very close. I'm trying to think of what else it had. It had the third brake, but I can't really think of anything else. So I'll probably put it around about where... Top of B tier. 1999 McLaren was less innovative, and Hakkinen kept crashing, which meant we couldn't see the potential of it. The 2008 McLaren started getting over rabbit ears and stuff, but everyone was doing rabbit ears. It wasn't particularly innovative just for that. And it was also, towards the end of the season especially, better than the BMWs and level with the Ferraris at least. Probably top of B tier. Right. This is the 1988 McLaren. This is the 1990 McLaren, and that's the 1991 McLaren. And that, what is that? No, that's the 1988 McLaren. That's the 1989 McLaren. That's the 1990 McLaren. That's the 1991 McLaren. And then for some reason they have a 1985 McLaren back here. ...1980... I think that's 1988 anyway. Let me just... Yeah, that's the MP44. I knew it was the MP44. Let me just... Yeah, I can tell because of the roll hoop, because it doesn't really have a roll hoop like the other ones do. It goes into STR and pure dominance, and it wasn't particularly innovative. 1962 BRM, you're talking about that one. I think that's that one, isn't it? I put it in C tier because it wasn't... I couldn't think of anything particularly innovative about it, but we've seen from my previous stuff that I don't really know what I'm talking about. I've gone from having the insight of Bernie Collins or Jenson Button to the insight of Damon Hill. 1989 McLaren, obviously less dominant. Wasn't incoming S tier Mercedes as they'll also be there as well. The 89 McLaren goes there. 1990 McLaren was slightly more dominant, I think. No, it wasn't. I don't know why I said that, because I realised as soon as I said it that it was completely wrong. Me when I lie. Then the 1991 McLaren, that was more dominant than the 1990 McLaren. Went from Button knowledge to Paul Di Resta. Paul Di Resta had good knowledge, you just didn't know how to say it. Because he has good accolades in Formula 1. Not Formula 1, good accolades in motorsport. It's funny when people say, oh, the reason why Paul Di Resta is a shit pundit is because he wasn't good in F1. And it's like, F1 doesn't determine how good you are. Your F1 results don't determine how good you are as a driver. Just look at Andre Lotterer. Don't mention Button around him, it's still a sore subject. Oh, yeah. Jenson Button, yeah. I forgot about that. When he... Oh, this is a 1985 McLaren, by the way. I completely forgot about it. Oh, pronounced rhubarb. I was calling you fucking rubber because I'm fucking stupid. 1985 McLaren goes... I'm trying to think. Please, I'm trying to think if there's anything here that I should be thinking of. I don't think it was particularly innovative. It was quite dominant, though. Prost won 1 million races. Lauda won 1 race, I think. I mean, Williams were quite quick, but I'll put it in A tier. No, I won't. I'll put it in B tier. ...2014 Mercedes. One of the most innovative cars in F1 history, but not so much as any of the other cars. I'll put it there. 2015 Mercedes. It's obviously nowhere near as innovative because it just improved on 2014. Hamilton had his best season, but the chasing pack was closer in 2015 than they were in 2014. I'll probably put it in high A tier. Probably around there. Williams were quite quick, wish we still had that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Williams do need to get back on it. 2016 Mercedes was better than the 2015 one. On pure the fact that it was, like Rosberg and Hamilton did just whitewash the season. With exceptions to a couple of races from Verstappen and Ricciardo. Because that's when Red Bull finally started getting their shit into gear. When Adrian Newey, because apparently the reason why the 2014 and 15 cars were so bad was because Adrian Newey was doing like fuck all in the design. Apparently he was hardly designing them, and as soon as he came back, miraculously they became quicker. 2017, they were less dominant in 2017 than they were before. Red Bull and Ferrari were so much closer, so that probably means that it's closer to the 2007, like the B tier cars. And then in 2018, they wrapped up the championships earlier, to be fair. And 2019, they were the best car again, which puts them back in A tier. Where did I put it? Oh, I just lost the car. Oh, I did this in the ranking drivers video where I kept losing certain cars or losing certain drivers. The good memories of 2014 when Mercedes was approximately 3.6 hours ahead of the entire grid in 2 turns. That's the problem with the modern Red Bulls as well. The reason the early Red Bull hybrid cars were average was because of the engines. That's also a good point. Yeah, the Renaults were a bit dog shit. 2020 Mercedes. I mean, it had DAS, which instantly is an innovation that you don't really see from nowadays. Which probably puts it ahead of the 2014 Mercedes, even though it was actually, I'd argue, it was as dominant as the 2014 Mercedes. And then we go to the 2021 Red Bull. Obviously, wasn't the outright quickest car. So it can't be put higher than, I'd say, B tier or low A tier. It also happened with the ranking tracks too, losing the icons and picks. Yeah, I have a tendency for that because my eyes just decide to go to sleepy mode. 2022 Red Bull, he's got to go in S tier. Just on pure dominance, more than anything. More so than these lot. Definitely more so than the 1953 Ferrari. And then the 2023 Red Bull's even fucking worse. I'd probably put it second to the 1952 Ferrari. Right, now we have the early Red Bulls. That's 2010, that's 2011, that's 2012, that's 2013. 2015-16 Mercedes surely have to be A tier. Well, the reason why I put the 2014 car was there was because it was innovative. It was the only car that got the hybrid engines right. It was the only car that got the aero engines, the aero regs right. I mean, there's a billions of picks that we can mix in together, so it's easy to lose them and hard to find them. Yeah. But the thing is, the reason why I don't put the 2015-16 Mercs as high, well, one, because they weren't as dominant, and two, because, or maybe in 2016 they were, and two, because they weren't particularly innovative. They just kept on engines like Mercedes were back in the day. 2010 Red Bull was joint first quickest car for the entire season with two other teams. Wasn't particularly innovative. That's a word, English. I'll probably put it in B tier. 2011 was dominant. Again, 2011 Red Bull is like 2002 Ferrari. Everyone forgets it because of another season that happened 2 years later. But it is up here. When you see it, wave or cheer. Mr. Tumble reference. The 2012 Red Bull was obviously the best car as an overall package in 2012 because the 2012 McLaren was the fastest car that season. It's just 2012 McLaren was the fastest that season, but it's just that I've forgotten how to speak. It's just that it was unreliable. Nowadays, the only thing Merc delivers is total mental breakdowns. That's a fair assessment of everything. But anyway, back to the 2012 Red Bull, I'd probably put it... It wasn't even always the best car, so I'd probably put it, especially not towards the start of the season. Towards the end of the season, it started to hook itself up. Oh no, I'm starting to get tired. Oh, this is going to end well, isn't it? I'm probably going to put it around about where that Ferrari is. 2013 Red Bull can go right up near the top, though. Especially towards the end of the season when they put in those new tyre regs. They just flattened everyone. No, it wasn't as dominant. Was it as dominant as the 2014? No, it wasn't, because it was Vettel who was dominant, not the car. Well, it was obviously, you have to have a good car to win. Mr. Tumble, I'm convinced he keeps children in his basement. Probably does. 2005, Renault, obviously humbled Ferrari. I think the tuned mass damper came in 2006, though, not 2005, unless I'm wrong. Which is easily possible considering my track record today. I'll probably put it top of B tier. ...2006, if that was the mass tuned damper car, then it belongs at least in here. The 1971 Tyrrell. Trying to think what the 1971 Tyrrell innovated in. It innovated in... I'm trying to think what it innovated in. I don't think it did, really. I mean, obviously the difference between the 1970 cars and the 1971 cars was different across the board. But I don't think that was particularly Tyrrell. But it was a good car, nonetheless. Probably there. And the 1973 car was obviously a little bit more competitive because him and Sever were winning race. Well, Sever didn't win a race in 1973, but he probably should have at some point. And then we've got the Van Wall from 1958, the Constructors' Championship winning car, even if it wasn't the Drivers' Championship winning car. Probably a lower B tier because although it won races, it didn't win any Drivers' Championships. 73. I don't know what that's referring to. Wait, is that one the 1971 Tyrrell and that one's the 1973 Tyrrell, and he's got them the wrong way around? Because it's supposed to be in like chronological order, so I just assumed that the earlier the first car is the oldest car. So you go 1950, 1951, 1952, 1953. I'm a spanner sometimes. Alan Jones's 1980 car. Was probably the dominant car of that year. Oh, you made a mistake this time, Rag, not me. Finally, I've managed to prove someone wrong in this series. Where does this go? It wasn't a particularly dominant car, to be fair, the 1980 Williams. The 1982 car, especially so. I'd probably put it in D tier. Actually, no, I wouldn't. I'd probably put it in C tier. because people talk about how it was like the fifth fastest car. But people say it was like the fifth fastest car. It was on pure pace, but that was because of the turbos. But it was the most reliable, which is also really important for that era. Because while the turbo cars are breaking down every other race, Rosberg was picking up consistent points. Oh, everyone's destroying Reich in the comments because he makes one mistake, but as soon as I do it, it's just giggle and move on. I mean, that's how celebrity works nowadays, because obviously I am now a world famous celebrity who is clear of Ryan Reynolds. But I'll probably put... See, I do think this Williams is underrated because it had bulletproof reliability, and people just don't think about that. They go, oh, it was really slow. And it's like, yeah, well, it was also the only one that wasn't breaking down every half a second. Then the 1987 Williams, driven by the racist to a world championship. Could have been Mansell, but then again, Mansell bottled every single chance that he got a title before 1992. Admittedly, in 1986 it wasn't his fault. But it didn't help that he was getting concussions every 5 seconds. International superstar Nedzo. Yeah. You got the excuse of being a tard, Nedzo. Yeah, I do have the excuse of being a retard, but it's not a good excuse. Now you know that you are a celebrity. Will you invest into Ryan Reynolds' F1 team? Someone comes up with, no, because he's a billionaire and I've made a small amount of money from my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to disclose how much I've made, so I'm not going to. I'm not sure if YouTube would dox me. The Brazilian fascist himself. What? Jair Bolsonaro. The Jair Bolsonaro of the racing world. 1992 Williams has to go up at the top. Because it was more, I think I'd actually go, it's more innovative than the Red Bull. And it was also just as, not just as dominant, but less dominant but more innovative. Same with the 1993 car. This is why I put them right at the top. 1996... I think this is probably an unpopular F1 opinion. I think people underestimate how good the 1996 and 97 Williams cars were, because you think about it, the two drivers they had that won the title were Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve. Damon Hill, apart from his championship, did nothing of any sort of note. He wasn't. I mean, he had two good. I'd say he had two great races in his F1 career: the 1994 Japanese Grand Prix and 1997 Hungarian Grand Prix were probably two of the top 20 performances in F1 history. Not just his performance, but top 20 performances in F1 history. Never mind Damon Hill. Yeah, that was Damon Hill. And then Jacques Villeneuve, after 1997, he had like a couple of podiums and then just fell off. Why is Schmalf saying, nah? He was so popular, he got his racing circuit taken away from him. Nah, he should have won Hill shouldn't have won 1994. Schumacher got disqualified from 2 races and excluded from 2, and he still won the championship. That was in a 16-race season. And also, the thing is, people say that, I'll put these just in, people say that Schumacher, I don't even think Schumacher did it on purpose. I think that Hill went for an optimistic gap, and Schumacher just didn't see him because he was focusing on getting back on track. Do I think it's possible that Schumacher did take him out on purpose? Yes, but I don't think it was. I mean, Jerez 1997 doesn't help Schumacher in that regard, but I genuinely don't think it was on purpose. 1994, that is, not 1997. But yeah, Damon Hill wasn't the priority driver until Imola. Never ask a man his wage, a woman his wage, a woman her age, or Nezo anything about Damon Hill. Hill wasn't prioritised driver until Imola. I mean, you could say that about 1994, but also Imola was the 3rd round of a 12-round season, and before that he'd only got 6 points in 3-4 races. Just saying. And also, he might not have been prioritised driver until Imola, but that doesn't explain how he bottled 1995 in the best car. He won 1996 with a rookie as his teammate, and that rookie still nearly beat him to the title. 1997, he beat Pedro Diniz, woohoo. 1998, only won the race because he was 3.5 seconds slower a lap than Ralf Schumacher, yet he was told to keep behind. And then 1999, to be fair, he was completely ousted by Eddie Jordan, and he wanted to leave, but Eddie wouldn't let him because Eddie's Eddie. I'll be fair towards Damon Hill when I need to, because I have met Damon Hill in real life at a golf tournament. He's a really nice guy. And also, I'm not a massive tourer. I don't go to golf tournaments just out of fun. I was getting an electric wheelchair. I was sponsored to get an electric wheelchair, and it just so happens that it was at a golf tournament. I'm not that much of a massive posh gimp that I go to golf tournaments in my spare time when I was like 11 at the time. But 1996 Williams, the car itself was very good. The drivers not so much, as I've just explained. Yeah, Damon Hill, as I said, is a very, very nice guy. I just don't rate him as a driver. The 1994 Williams, though, is probably better. No, not better than the 1996. No, I'll probably put it there. We've got that ranking tier list out of the way. I'll slowly go through it like I always do, so you can all look at it and tell me where I've gone wrong. But what I'm going to do now is something I wasn't planning on doing before we got to the... He also vouched for Alonso regarding the Oz 2024 penalty, so I F with him for real now. Though he thought it was unfair. I mean, I agree with the fact that it was unfair. I can understand why people are saying, but at the end of the day, George Russell's known for bottling stuff at the end of races. Let me just go Sports, not Sports Direct. Piss off. Auto glass repair, auto glass replace. Why has that just come into my head? Autism is the reason why. But here we go. First of all, why is it saying Benevuto? I'm not Italian. Hold on, let me just... what I've done is, because there was adverts all over the last website, I had to just zoom the screen out, so now I've got to zoom it back in. Sorry, the other way around. I zoomed it out, so I've got to zoom it... sorry, I zoomed it in, so I've got to zoom it back out. There we go. So, here we go. Pole position. That 1996 car was something else. Still better than Button in your eyes. I'm a total Alonso and Kubica apologist, so I'm a neutral bystander in F1. Random Formula 1 quiz. Let me get a random Formula 1 quiz. Can you correctly pick the drivers that won a Formula 1 Grand Prix in the 2010s? Quick pick, so I've got to do it as quick as possible. I've got a minute to do all 12. Right, okay. Yes. How long was that? Oh, piss off. 11 seconds to do all of those. So I averaged less than a second. Right, let's go back and do another one. Random Formula 1 quiz. Give me a good one. Grand Prix of Singapore 2022. Top 10. Right, okay, this could be... Who won it? It was Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Verstappen. Oh, Verstappen was 7th. Russell and Hamilton. Oh no, because Russell didn't. Oh, I said Norris instead of Hamilton. Who are the other drivers of that season? Not Piastri, Ricciardo. I should have thought of Ricciardo first, really, to be honest. Who was good in 2022? Alpine? Ocon? Gasly? Alonso? Vettel? Who was 6th? So I've already gone through the top 4 teams. Let me have a... It's not Sonoda, is it? No. Bottas? No. Stroll? Oh, it was Stroll. Okay. Let's not do that ever again, because I hate doing these ones. Formula 1 drivers from the 1990s. Oh, he wants me to name all of them, the cheeky bastards. Oh, I can do this. Come on, I can do it. I've got 10 minutes to name 232 drivers. But obviously some of them will have driven for two teams at once, so it will be a bit easier. Ferrari, 1988 to 1999, 1995 to 1993 to 1995. Is it going to let me play it? There we go. Berger. 1980 to 1990, that's not Prost, that's Mansell, but I'm going to put Prost in there anyway. Mansell. 1991 to 5 is Alesi. 1991 is Morbidelli because he did one race for them. Morbidelli. 1992 is Capelli. 1992 and 1994 is Larini. 1996 to 2006 is Schumi. Ignore my fat fingers being unable to fucking spell shit, by the way. Schumke. Fuck off. I want to bring my mic closer to me, by the way, so that you can hear me better. Because I keep looking away and it doesn't actually pick up on the camera. Irvine. 1999 is Salo. Tyrrell. This is going to get difficult. Modena. Brundle. Oh my god, my fat fucking fingers. What fucking... I nearly said incest fingers, but I'm not actually incest. I'm not from Norwich. 1991. Did De Cesaris drive for Tyrrell at any point in the 90s? He did. Convenient. Alboreto. Warwick. What about Foytek? Gregor Foytek. Oh, it was Brabham, not Tyrrell. Oh, you spanner. Eric van der Poel. Oh, I'm clutching at straws here for fucking 1990. Who was the 1990 driver? Thierry Boutsen? Riccardo Patrese? Alright. Oh, I'm going to go to the later drivers because otherwise I'm going to be sitting here for ages. Ukyo Katayama? Pierluigi Martini? Fabrizio Barbazza. People always forget about Barbazza, but I never do. 1995. I've already said Mika Salo. Who drove for Tyrrell in 95? Wendlinger? Because when he came back, he went to Sauber. Did he go to Tyrrell after that? No, he didn't. I mean, obviously, we've got Rosset and Verstappen. And Takagi. 1995. Was that Jan Magnussen? Or no, he did the McLaren substitute, didn't he? But it'll still be some other drivers elsewhere. Williams, 1994. I should be able to get this. Coulthard. Mansell. I've already said Mansell. Senna. Um, 1996 to 1998 is Villeneuve. Then Frentzen. Then Zanardi. See, I do know my shit. I just don't know all of my shit. Then McLaren, 1993 is Michael Andretti. The slow bastard. Although he did get a podium in his last race. And then Philippe Alliot. He's pretty much a village bicycle of F1. Brabham. I don't care. Actually, no, I do care because it is David Brabham. And then Giovanna Amati. Or Amati, as some people say. Arrow's footwork. Oh, that's a minefield. I'm going to skip through them. Lotus. Herbert. Because I'm just thinking of the 1994 drivers. Lamy. Adams. Who drove for Gounon? Bouillon. Yeah, when I put Braverman, it counts both Gary and David, so I don't need to worry about that. Gasho. It's not. He wasn't the Acela driver. That was Langes, wasn't it? Now we'll skip on to March. We've done Capelli, but we haven't done Gugelmin. We've done Wendlinger, but we haven't done. Who else was a March driver in 1992? Was it anyone special? I don't think it was. I can't think of anyone. AGS Olivier Gouillard. I'm trying to think of other washed French drivers, and they'll probably be on there. Bernard Panis. I know he's not an AGS driver, but he'll definitely be on the list. Benetton, PK Moreno. Oh, he'll fill in a lot of fucking teams. Jesus Christ. Another Benetton driver, Nannini. Apparently, Gary was the best mate of Jimmy Savile. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh, Inui. I forgot about Inui. I hate the fucking Japanese drivers. Inui. Which of the fucking Honda and Yamaha fuckboys did we have at that time? I can't think of any others. Anyway, back to Benetton. Leto, Wirtz, and Fisichella. Dallara. Who the fuck is that? Minardi. Right, I'm going to try and do all these guys because there will be a lot of points on offer here. Badoa. Oh, it would have been Badoa in that fucking Dallara seat. Minardi had Lavaggi. And they had Marquez. Diniz, obviously not for Minardi they didn't, but Diniz was in F1. 1998, who are their drivers? Why have I just forgotten the 1998 Minardi lineup? Noboleto Fontana. I'm just going to put in more drivers that I know will be on this list. Ligier. Don't know. LaRousse. My knowledge has gone out the window now. Onyx. Stefan Johansson. Life. Bruno Giacomelli. Oh yeah, Aguri Suzuki. I forgot about him. Thank you. Fond Metal. Don't know. Jordan. Oh, you've got the one-timers. Your Apicellas. And your Emanuele Naspettis. And your Barrichellos and your Irvines, who I've forgotten, which is concerning. The three, we got Bertagia. Caffey. Oh no. Fucking, and McCarthy, there we go. Lola tastes just like cherry cola. Please tell me someone gets that reference. Ratzenberger. Oh yeah, Delatraz. I forgot about him. Delatraz. And then Simtek, Montermini. And Sciattarella. Oh, I always forget how to spell Sciattarella's name. Is it Sciattarella? It's a weird spelling. You never expect it to be spelled the way it is, but it is. Pacific, Belmondo. Prost, Nakano, and who was the other Prost driver from 97 until 99? Not Mazzacane, but he will be on here as well. No, he won't be. Oh, 8 seconds. Fuck. Zonta. Fuck. Yeah, I can't think anymore. But I'm happy with that. Who did I miss out? I missed out Trulli. That's bad. Actually, I'll look at the best guessed ones that I missed out. Quiz stats. Here we go. So the worst driver or the best driver that I missed out was Jono Trulli. 83% of people got him and I didn't. That's not good. Who else did I miss? So Toru Nakajima. Christian Fittipaldi. Okay, that's fair enough. And then you've got people like Hattori, Chavez, Chiesa, Noda, Lagos, where if anyone gets them, they're just cheating. Or they're just massive nerds, like even more than I am. Right. Formula 1 quizzes. Random Formula 1 quiz. Can you name all F1 drivers who raced against Jody Scheckter? No, I fucking can't. Are you taking the piss? Not doing that in a month of Sundays. I'll be there for ages. No, I'm not doing the 2005 championship because I'll get all of them and it'll be boring. A crossword based on 2014. Okay, I'll do this. Returned to a previous employer was comprehensively outperformed by the driver that had replaced him. Raikkonen. No, not Raikkonen. Raikkonen. Became the first woman to participate in a time session since Wolff. Susie Wolff. Another season to forget for this Grande team, but reviving an older engine partnership was sure to bring back the good old times. McLaren? Okay. Enjoyed a terrible pre-season, but recovered to be best of the rest. Red Bull, because they had so many failures in the pre-season. Failed to win a race for the first time in 21 years, as their power unit proved to be a weak link. Ferrari. Rookie who went from GP3 to a driver of 8 across, which is Red Bull, in barely 18 months. Oh, Kvyat. Aligned itself with its sister team after years of using different engines, but only once finished better than 8th. Toro Rosso. Made his debut in the final round with a dying 23 down. Well, I don't even know what 23 down is, but I know that's Will Stevens. Scored only 2 podiums before parting with 10 across. Alonso. That engine partnership worked out. It did because they went to McLaren Honda. Scored their first points before suffering through a tragic accident and closure shortly afterwards. Marussia. Revised aerodynamic regulations brought another selection of aesthetically challenged nose, aka penis designs. Circuit that hosted its country's first Grand Prix on what liked an industrial estate car park. Sochi. Surely. A series of inspired drives included a maiden points finish and then tragedy struck. A series of inspired drives? You mean one inspired drive in Monaco that everyone overrates by an absolute fuckton because he died? Driver who could only muster 2 points finishes in a dud of a car, a far cry from the end of 2013. Grosjean? Yes! Outperformed by his new teammate and failed to win a race before departing for pastures new. Outperformed by his new teammate and failed to... Vettel. This was the first Grand Prix of the season that mandated the use of hybrid technology. Lost his father over the button. Started slowly in his new team, but took a pole and 3 podiums as he grew Massa. Hold on, did I get that right? No, I didn't. I spelled it wrong. Massa. Multiple Le Mans winner who has unexpectedly handed the Grand Prix debut at the age of Lotterer. A disastrous pre-season for all of its clients was a precursor to a difficult year for the firm, Renault. They love them some Jules Bianchi, lol. They do, this quiz seems to do. Renault, there we go. He's finished a stunning second on debut, Kevin Magnussen. Rookie who competed in 16 events before his team collapsed into administration. Ericsson scored his team's first podium finish since 2009, but was convincingly outscored by his new teammate. Scored his team's first podium finish since 2009, but I've completely forgotten. Perez. Before 2 down, the last driver to win a Grand Prix using a 12 down engine from 36 across. 12 down is something I haven't got, and across is 36 Renault. The last driver to use a 12 down engine from 36 across. I'm confused. Right, I'll move on to the next one. Right. Driver who won 3 Grand Prix during the season. Starts with R and ends with O. Ricciardo. Superbly prepared team, plus great chassis, plus Mercedes. K-Mag peaked at his debut race. Massa, the guy destroying his reputation day by day. Yeah, pretty much. Mercedes. Surged back up to the sharp end with fresh sponsorship, including 9 podium finishes. Williams. No, Willowams. Surged back up to... what's the next one? Number of points, 28 down, received for winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The most a Grand Prix victory he's ever got, 50. Switched teams and ran with 13. Of course he did. Maldonado. Or Maldonado, as I keep doing. For this season, only points in the final round of the championship were worth double. Gave a plum GT drive to return to F1. Gave up a plum GT drive to return to F1. Sadly, it was with the collapsing 23 down. I wish we had this Williams back, to be honest. Yeah, they were good in straight lines. I remember that. Kobayashi, by the way. The new engine rules also saw the return of turbocharged units. Oh, fuck off. I hate it when I put the wrong words in. Turbocharged. The last driver to represent his country before 38 across made his debut. Hold on. 38 across is... Ericsson. The last driver to represent his country before 38 across made his debut. So a Swedish driver. Johansson? That Williams renaissance lasted long. It didn't really, did it? 2014 and 15, and then it just fell off. Williams has a record for most podium points at one Grand Prix, with second and third at Abu Dhabi. They do, 67. A heavy car and weak engine saw this team finish pointless for the first time in 22 years of F1. Sauber. Country which made a return to the calendar after a decade off Austria. Animal which the unusual 22 across designs were nicknamed Anteater. Slumped towards the back of a group with a twin Lotus. This team buckled and then collapsed. Caterham. Breakthrough season for the talented driver. Oh, I'm running out of time again. Bottas. Driver won 11 Grand Prix. Hamilton. No! Stupid game. 89% now, I'll take that. I'm not doing 2010. I can't be bothered to do another crossword. They take fucking so much brain power. Grand Prix of Turkey 2020. No, can't be arsed. Didn't enjoy 14 as a Vettel supporter, but he did get a few podiums at least. Yeah, I suppose that's a good thing to take out. It wasn't as bad as like 2016. Unscramble the 2021 drivers. How about no? That's a boring one. I want something that's like off the wall. Can you name the F1 Williams drivers? No, I don't just want to name every single Williams driver ever, you ball bag. I thought someone knocked on the door then. The F1 200 club members. Can you name the drivers that entered 200 or more Grand Prix according to Stats F1? No, I don't want to do that because I'll get them all. I want to do ones that I won't get 100% on. Which can you choose the correct British F1 driver given their information? I'll give it a go. Which British F1 driver was the most recent to win a race? Lewis Hamilton. Which British F1 driver hasn't won a British Grand Prix in a British car? Nigel Mansell has. John Surtees hasn't. Which British F1 driver did not win a race in 1964? Sterling Moss. Which British F1 driver has scored points? Jolyon Palmer. Which British F1 driver never raced for Lotus? Jackie Stewart. Which British F1 driver has entered the most races? When was this quiz made? 2018, so it was Jenson Button at the time. Which British F1 driver was the first to win a race? Sterling Moss. Fuck, it was Mike Hawthorne. Yep, 1953. Which British F1 driver has the best win percentage? It's is it Clark or Hamilton? I'm gonna go Hamilton. Fuck! Which British F1 driver has won the most races? It's Hamilton. Which 90s British F1 driver has not won a race? Martin Brundle. Fuck. 80% because I was way in between Jim Clark and Lewis Hamilton, and I read the question about the first British driver to win a race because I thought he said British Grand Prix. I thought he was the first driver to win the British Grand Prix. They said. Can you correctly pick the drivers that competed in both the 1950 and 1960 Formula 1 seasons? I'll give it a go. Oh fuck! There's some fucking Indy 500. Gonzalez is one. Fangio isn't one. Trintignant is one. Piero Taruffi definitely isn't. Oh, who's the... Right, so I'm going to say Dick Rathman. Yep. Harry Schell. Yep. Your goat but really isn't, lol. Jim Rathman. Yes. Pat Flaherty? No. Lee Wallard? No. Paul Russo? Yes. June Harley? Yes. I gave it a go. They're all American Indy 500 drivers I would have never got. Can you name the F1 drivers who fit the criteria except Lando Norris? Okay, I can give it a go. I've done this quiz before, by the way. I've got 90% on it, so I'm going to try and beat that. Race for McLaren in the 2010s. Hamilton. Button. I'm going to go chronological order. Perez. Magnussen. Alonso. Van Dorn. And who else? Sainz. Bang. Carlos Sainz Jr. teammates. Gasly. Hartley. Oh, he was never... hold on. Who am I thinking of? Kvyat. Hulkenberg. Verstappen. Of course, I think of Hulkenberg, Kvyat and Gasly before I think of Verstappen. And then Carlos Sainz Jr. Leclerc. There we go. British drivers in the 2010s. Paul di Resta. Who else? Chilton. Did I just say Paul Chilton or Max Chilton? That's how you don't name Norris. Name every race winner. I'll do that in a minute. I did do that before. Max Chilton. Who else? 2015 Will Stevens. 2016 Palmer. Then Russell. Scored points in the 2019 Brazilian Grand Prix. Raikkonen and Giovinazzi. And who else was in that race that I haven't thought of yet? Grosjean? What about Ricardo? Yep. F1 drivers in 2018, 24 hours of data. Fuck. Right, this is going to... What about Jan Magnussen? I'm trying to think of drivers who have done... Oh, he's already there! Because I've put Kevin. Fuck. Alonso? Have I not already put him? I have already put him. Button? Already put him. NASA? Yes, Ericsson. Fuck off. This is where my overall racing knowledge just lacks. What about older drivers? Emanuele Pirro? Is he still kicking around, or was he still kicking around a couple of years ago? Lucas de Grassi? No. Chandok? I'm trying to think of like washed F1 drivers that might... Oh, Bruno Senna, there we go. D'Ambrosio. Lotterer. Sutil. Mary. Verline. I'm just thinking, as I said, I'm just thinking of washed F1 drivers. Aitken? Oh, that would have been a fantastic shout if it had been him. Fittipaldi? Christian Fittipaldi. I was thinking of Pietro. Nope, Christian Fittipaldi. Fucking hell, that throws a spanner in the works. I didn't think anyone that old would be racing in it. McNish? I can't think of any more. Montoya, Bourdais, Stroll. I didn't think it. Jimmy Bruni. Oh, Marcus Winkle. I could have got those if I'd have thought about more obscure early 2000s drivers. Anyone but Andre Lotterer. Okay, I'll give it a go. Started only one Grand Prix between 1980 and 2020. Tiffany Dell. Miguel Angel Guerra. Oh no, not Tommy Byrne. Because he did two. Of course he did. Marcus Winkelhock, who we've just mentioned. Who was the driver with Lotterer? I can't think of any others. Sarazan. He was the last one before Winkelhock. Jesus Christ, that's a big gap. I'm trying to think. Can't think of any others. Lotus Racing / Caterham driver. Okay, I can do this. Kovalainen. Trulli. Petrov. There's someone before Petrov. 2011. Chandok, that's who. Because he did the German Grand Prix. And then we have 2013, which was Pick and Guard, or Vandergaard. Aitken. Oh, that's a shout, isn't it? Yeah. Aitken. And he said Lotterer. Just saying. And then we've got Will Stevens. Marcus Ericsson. And Kamui Kobayashi. Yep. Apicella. That's a very good one as well. Thank you. Use number 45 in an official Grand Prix session. Wolf. I swear she did. Van Dorn. Oh, he didn't. It'll be like a test driver. Sam Bird. Luis Razia. Alfonso Salis. I said... Oh, you said Lotta on the last quiz. Oh, okay. German driver in the 21st century. So first of all, Schumacher. That should give us 3 options. And it does. Vettel. Hulkenberg. Wehrlein. Sutil. Then we have Rosberg. Heidfeld, yep, good point. Who else? 2000s German Grand Prix. Glock. And whichever German driver. Someone who made their debut between 2000, actually in the year 2000, or who raced in the year 2000. Because I think Heidfeld's debut was in 2000. Or was it in 2001? Even so, I don't think there was... Oh, Naoki Yamamoto for the number 45. Oh, that was a good shout, but it wasn't one. I'm trying to think of other drivers who did do practice sessions. Bianchi? Oh. Alex Rossi? Oh, yes! Got it. I can't think of that other German driver in the 21st century, though, to save the life of me. Frentzen! Yes. Podium in Formula E. Oh, fuck. Gasly? He does have a podium in Formula E. He came second, I swear, in one of his races. Buemi, Piquet Jr. I'm trying to get other washed F1 drivers who've gone to Formula E. We've already said Heidfeld. Oh, fucking... Who else? We've already said Chandok. We've already said... I'm trying to think of the early years of Formula E. Nazar, did he ever do a race there? No, he didn't. Formula Nippon / Super Formula driver who raced in F1. Oh, that's a hard one. I'll just go with the Japanese drivers. Kobayashi. Oh, he's already there. Karthikeyan, I know he did a year in Super Formula. Sutil, did he ever do any time in there? I know Paul Di Resta was a wheelman. Jenson Button did, I swear. He didn't. Oh, it was Super GT he did, not Super Formula. Podium in Formula E, though. That's the bit that's getting me. Nick de Vries. Good point. From Mr. Stealth there, one of our channel members. Nope, Nick De Vries isn't on there. I think this, when was this list created? 2022, so yes, he wasn't in F1 by this point. Bruno Senna, that's a good point. Yep, Bruno Senna's on there. Charles Pic. That'd have been a good one. Guido van der Garde. Or, as Peter Brook says, Heido van der Harde. And everyone's just died because of... Can these ads piss off? But what I might do is I might move my thingy so it covers up these fucking ads that annoy me. There we go. Like that. Jean-Eric Verne. Oh, yeah, because he's the champion. I didn't even think of him. Al-Jaswari, I think, competed in a couple of races. I'm not sure how good he was. Jarno Trulli. Verne, I struggle sometimes spelling people's names. Verne isn't one of them because I didn't ever struggle with that. Bourdais. Oh yeah, Massa. Massa did compete in a couple of races. Massa. Ned says, "What do you want, Mr. Stealth? There's something going on in the league that I need to know about." I'm trying to think of... Can't think of any other drivers. Glock? No. Trulli was diabolical in FE. Oh, he was he? I've given up on this one, to be honest. I can't really think of anything. Lucas de Grasse. I said de Grasse, you stupid thing. Roland Ratzenberger started only one Grand Prix. Oh, yeah, he did. Pierre-Henri Raffanel. Jean-Louis Schlesser. Should have known that one. Mary Ocon. So that was Mannor's Grand Prix number then. Montagny. Scott Speed. Jerome D'Ambrosio. Okay. Naoki Hattori. Didn't... Yeah. I should have just pushed the Japanese drivers more. I completely forgot other Japanese drivers existed. Oh well. Another random quiz. What's going on? Oh, yeah, it's just a reflection. Can you name a Formula 1 top 10s in 2014? Okay, I can try this. Hamilton. Rosberg. Vettel. Ricciardo. That's 3 C's. Alonso, Raikkonen, Massa and Bottas, Magnussen, Button. More 2014 drivers. Bianchi. Verne. Kvyat. Perez. Hulkenberg. Yeah, Bianchi did get a couple of top... Oh, what else is I missing here? One in Spain. Grosjean and Maldonado. Is that what it is? Grosjean and Maldonado. Yes, there we go. That's all 100% of them. Why is it not... What is it doing? Why is it not letting me scroll? Oh, don't know what happened there. Can you name the top 10 drivers in the World Championship driver standings from 90? The maximum I've got on this is 88%. I haven't managed to get 100% on this. Top 10 drivers in the F1 World Championship standings from 1960 until 1969. I'll give it a good go. Right, obviously, we'll do all the champions first. Brabham, Hill, that's Phil and Graham. Clark, Hulme, and Stewart. That's a good baseline to start with. The runners-up in 1960 was McLaren. Sterling Moss was in there. Trevor Taylor was in there. No, it wasn't. It was in 1962, though, clearly. Inez Island. Olivier Jean de Bion. Gurney? Dan Gurney? No. Ginther. Shell? No, he died in 1959, didn't he? Maston Gregory. Jose Froilan Gonzalez. Carlos Mendita. No. Ix. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Ix. Von Trips. Just realised because I saw a blank space in 1961. Siffert. I'll go to the end of it because I've filled up quite a far of that. I've already put McLaren. 1969. Courage. Scarfiotti. Oh, I forgot to put John Surtees in. Chris Amon. Oh, Giancarlo Baghetti. He'll be in 1961, surely. Stop saying Baghetto. There we go, Baghetti. Jackie Oliver. No. 1966. Who am I missing out in 1966 who got third? Bandini? Oh, my spelling. Fucking fat fingers. You guys are really delayed for me. I've just seen people say Amon and people like that. Who was 1966? They've got to have won a race, surely. Arundel, that's a good one. Peter Arundel. Lucien Bianchi? No. Dick Atwood? No. Oh, Jochen Rindt! Stupid spanner of me forgetting him. Francois Sever, did he do anything? No, he didn't. Mike Spence and Mike Parks. Years. I've done really well. I've already got 91% on this one, 92% now. Who made their debut in 1967? Became good in 1967. Mags, Tony Mags, yes. I doubt that John Love will be on here. No, he's not. Revson. Not Revson. Rodriguez is who I meant. Um, 96. Oh, someone in 1969 who was really good. We've still got two from the early 60s. Who won Indy in 1960? Oh, Jim Rathman. That's a very good shout. 1961. We have one driver in 1961 who we haven't got. And we have two in 1968 and 69. If these ads can piss off. I'll just put that right there so we can't see the ad. No, actually I'll put it there. Beltoise. That's a very good point. Now we have 99. We just need this one driver from 1961. Who was it? Let me rack my brain. Cliff Allison? Or was he already retired by that point? No. Who could it be? Adds of the heart of what they do. I don't care. Adds of the heart of what I do. That's how I make. Oh yeah, Tony Brooks. Go on, make it. Yes, 100%. Thank you everyone for helping me get to 100% there. F1 World Champions in the 1990s. That's easy. I could do that with my fucking eyes closed and my mouth closed, probably still. Can you name the highest placed driver not racing for one of the top 3 teams? Okay, this is interesting. So let me just go more info, just check what they mean. Top 3 teams for each year are in the comments. So let's have a look at the comments. Top 3 teams. Okay, so we've got to basically name the best of the rest race winners. This is interesting. 2002, Australia, Webber. It does it for all the other ones as well. 2002, Australia. Right, so I'll go for Trulli and Alonso in 2002. Not 2002, because Alonso wasn't in 2002. It was... Wait, who was the top teams in... Is it Ferrari, McLaren, Williams? Yes, it was. So Button would be exempt. If I could spell. Heidfeld, that's a good point. Kubica, along with him, obviously not for 2002, but for other ones. Fisichella. Perennial midfielders will definitely do well here. Belgium, Italy, and Japan. Not sure. We've already put Button there. We've already put Button in. 2004 would be... What other teams in 2004? Ferrari, Bar, and Renault. BAR and Renault. Bar. Fucking Bar. Montoya. And Schumacher. For Ralph, that is, not for... Villeneuve might actually be part of this on some points. He is. Don't forget Trulli. I haven't forgot Trulli. He's already in there. I put him in right at the start. Who had a good mid-season stretch in 2004? Was it Sato? Sato was in 2000s. Panis. Oh my god, I actually got it right. Salo. Hulkenberg. Oh yeah, I'll go to the 2017 one. Oh, 2017, Jesus Christ. So Hulkenberg and Sainz will definitely be on here a lot. Sainz, Gasly, Bottas, Massa, Stroll, Alonso. I've already said Alonso, never mind. Van Dorn. Did Jolyon Palmer get it in Singapore? No, he didn't. But did he get it anywhere else? No, he didn't. Verline, I doubt that he'd get it anywhere. Toro Rosso. I'm trying to think of Toro Rosso drivers now. Verstappen. Kvyat. Button. Oh, we could do Vettel as well. Maldonado. Yeah. Hold on, my glasses are being gay. There we go. Maldonado, Vettel. Haas. Actually, yeah, I forgot about Haas. Grosjean, Ocon, Magnussen, because I've seen someone say Ocon. Oh my god, Ocon towards the end of 2017. Fucking hell. What about Perez? Fucking hell. Do we have any from 2016 now? No. We have a couple from 2015 towards the start of the season, because I assume that'll be Ferrari, Red Bull and Mercedes. Oh, it's not. So I've already said Ricciardo, I think, though. I didn't say. Sorry about that. I didn't say Ricciardo. NASA. Belgium. Who could it be in Belgium? Who had a good result in Belgium? Rosberg. I mean, before Mercedes got good, that's actually a really good point, yeah. Australia. Raikkonen. Yep, Raikkonen's in there. Grosjean's in there. Thank you, Remy, for the blessing. I don't need it because I'm already #blessed. I'm not. Singapore, Paul Di Resta. Because Paul Di Resta had a couple of weirdly good results. I've already put Webber, haven't I, right at the start. Gutierrez, did he ever get a good result? He would have done if I spelt it right. What about Adrian Sutil? Oh yes, look at that. Bottas, no. 2013 Canada we still need to get. But we've done all of 2012, nearly all of 2011. Barrichello. Buemi. No. Not Heidfeld, Petrov. Canada 2013. Who could that be? I'm missing someone, so... unless it's a different team to what I'm thinking it is. Red Bull, Mercedes, Ferrari. So... Kubica, I've already put Kubica in. I put him in right when I did... Oh my god, we've only got 9 seconds left. Nakajima. No, why was he the first person I thought? I was going to put Kovalainen. Why the fuck was he the first person I thought of? Oh, I want a good driver who is good in midfield. Let's go for fucking Kazuki Nakajima. No, I can't. I'm not going to name the F1 2011 grid. I'd have known that easily. Shadow Racing Cars Duo. Not a chance I'm going to be able to get any of those. Vern, I saw that. Vern would have been a good choice as well. But I just completely forgot. Can you name the F1 drivers to finish second to Mark Webber? I'll give it a go. In 30 seconds, fucking hell. Vettel, Alonso, Button, no, Hamilton, Massa. 2012 Monaco was, who was it? Oh fuck, I can't remember. Raikkonen? No. It was Rosberg. Quick. I bottled it. No. Fuck. Oh, bollocks. My fat fucking fingers. And you said Kubica as well. Rosberg. Fuck. Can you do this crossover based on the 1985 season? I will try my best, my chief. What I'm actually going to do is I want to put my phone up on near where the computers are, so I can see you guys' comments a bit easier. Supplied engines to 4 teams, but none of them competed in all 16 events. Hart? Driver who won on one Grand Prix during the season. Lauda. I'd have got that 100% easy. Ned's absolutely finished. Shut up. The new engine run by Carl Haas entered in F1 under the name of this British constructor Lola, because I've done a video on them. Check it out in the comments below, guys. Unexpectedly tired to replace 7 down, scored 2 second places. I don't know who 7 down is, so I can't say. Country whose Grand Prix became a part of a World Championship for the first time. Australia. French veteran who returned to 23 down and picked up 3 podium finishes. Lafitte? Did he return in 1985? He did. Driver who won 2 Grand Prix during the season. Is it PK? No, it's not, because he missed 2 words out. 2 letters out. Mansell, no. No. Not De Angelis. Venue for the then fastest... Oh, Silverstone. Not Silverstone. Silverstone. So 2023, the race held at 18 down was the most recent Grand Prix to be held on a Saturday. Circuit which fell off the calendar after this season and wouldn't host another Grand Prix until 2021. Circuit Zandvoort. Oh, is it actually Mansell? That one. Yeah, it was. Manufacturer which withdrew its works team at the end of the season but will continue as engine supplier for 1 more year. Renault. Because they withdrew after 1985. Bang. British team that ran out of funds after just 3 of the 16 rounds. Spirit. Because I did a video on them as well. New Italian team which became a mainstay of the championship for the next 2 decades. Minardi. Driver who won 2 Grand Prix during the season. Prost. No. 1985 Grand Prix winners. Senna. There we go. The memorable first win for 27 across, which I assume is Senna. Oh yeah, Portugal. Drove a 3rd entry for 22 across at 16 down with an onboard camera. Hesno. Francois. I don't even know who that is, but it's Francois Hesno. Oh, fuck. Francois No. Driver who won 2 Grand Prix during the season. Alboreto. Alboreto had a very underrated 1985 season. He could have easily won a championship if, or he could have won a championship if Prost had more mechanical retirements. Italian team which withdrew at season's end. A famous name would eventually return to F1 in 2019. Alfa Romeo. How long have I been recording now? 2 hours and 14 minutes. I'll probably go when it gets to 2 hours and 30 minutes, guys, because my eyes are starting to hurt. Driver who won 1 Grand Prix during the season. De Angelis. Scored points in the first race of the season. Mysteriously sacked by his team shortly afterwards. Oh no. Driver who won 2 Grand Prix during the season. Is this PK? No, it's not, because there's still too many letters. Who could it be? Don't know. Unexpectedly hard to replace 7 down. Who is 7 down? Arnu. Johansson. Driver who won 2 Grand Prix during the season. Number of points scored by champions McLaren. The last time double fingers would be enough to win the title. 90? Yes. Driver who won 5 Grand Prix. Oh, there's Prost. Good one. Played host to a Grand Prix, but it'll be 10 years before the track's next F1 race. Nürburgring. Oh, no, didn't want to do that. Nürburgring. Driver who won 1 Grand Prix during the season. Is this PK? Finally! The race at this venue will be removed from the calendar afterwards because of the country's apartheid policy. Well, that's obvious. Why is it a Y? Oh, venue. I thought it was country. I was like, where does South Africa have a Y in it? Kyle Army. New German entrant that produced its own turbo Zach Speed. Ram. The RB6 and RB7 are actually quite underrated now that I think about it. The RB6 and RB7, that's the 2010 and 11, isn't it? Revitalised French outfit that ended the season with a double podium in Ligier. The Grand Prix of this circuit was postponed from June to September after the relay Spa. Right, only one left. A driver who won 2 Grand Prix during 1985, who I can't think of. I can't think of this. 30 seconds. I genuinely can't think. I want to see if anyone quickly puts the answer in, so I have a chance to type it. Oh, Rosberg. Rosberg. Yep. Bang. Yep. Oh, yes, 100%. Oh, my God. Fucking stretch. Thank you, Ben was, by the way. Most successful Benetton F1 drivers, 1950 to 2023. Oh, yeah, famously, because F1 Benetton were competing in 1950, weren't they? Fuck off. Fuck off with your Grand Prix of Hungary 2017. It gets boring doing top 10s. Who has started a Grand Prix for the greatest number of different constructors? Well, obviously, Chris Amon, Maurice Trintignant, if I can spell it right. Sweden, 1986, Johansson started for 11 different teams. Van Wall, Lotus, Cooper, Moss. Yep. X. Cesares. USA. Chiva. Benetton AGS 40. Moreno. Cooper, Lola, Maserati. Cooper, Lola. That's thrown me off guard. Ina's Island. Taylor. I'm going to try and get them done in order because this has thrown me right off the bat. Actually, no, I'm not. Germany from 1958. Carl Kling? No, Hans Hermann. I'll do Button and Alonso because I can see people have put them in there. Button, Alonso. I did think Surtees. Alonso isn't even on there. For some reason. Yeah, he's yeah. But Surtees, I think he might be on the list, but just not there. Yeah, Swedish from BRM Cooper and Porsche. That's Bonnier. Is it Cliff Allison? If I can spell his name. No, it's not. Brabham Surtees Arrows. That's Rolf Stommelen, I think. Tyrrell Shadow Lotus 1978. Is that Lafitte? Jarrier? Yep. I've already put Moreno. Probably before time, he'll be likely on it anyway, yes. France 1983. Ferrari, Renault, McLaren. Prost, really? No, it's not Prost. It is... His median year was 1983. And he drove for Anu. Tombe. Patrick Tombe drove for 8 teams. Since when? Benetton, Ligier, McLaren. That's Brundle. Oh yeah, Roy Salvadori. It could be Roy Salvadori. It is Roy Salvadori. Thank you, Benoit. BRM, Maserati and Van Wall, Harry Schell. Talbot Largo, Jesus Christ, Connaught, Simca Gordini. Is that Johnny Clays? It is. Ferrari Cooper ATS, Ginther. No. Gurney? Yeah. No, it wasn't him. That's not the right one. Phil Hill? Oh, yeah, it was Phil Hill. Ferrari, Isa, Marlborough and Williams. Italy. Brambilla. Mazzario. Literally did a podcast on him with DRS. With the DRS train. Jones... Oh, fuck off. I had to click off of that for the fucking advert. Jones. Benetton, Stewart, and Salbert. Herbert. Herbert the pervert. He's not a pervert. It's just a reference. Benetton, Arrows, Footwork, Verstappen. That's not Max. That's Jos, obviously. Ferrari, Tyrrell, Sauber, Salo. Renault, Jordan, Benetton, Trulli. Oh, fuck off. It's Fisichella, isn't it? Because Trulli famously drove for Benetton, didn't he, Owen? Oh, 100%. That took a while. Can you recognise these classic F1 trucks by a single picture? I can try. That reminds me of Zandvoort. I was wrong. That is the Nordschleifer. Or is it Spa? No, it's not. It's the Nordschleifer. It's not that either. Is it Mosport? Oh my god, is it Watkins Glen? That was Dijon, was it? Or is that Dijon? No, neither of them are. Right, that's Montjuic. I know that for a fact. Zandvoort, I believe, has a D before the L. Well, did I put an L in it by accident? I think you need to write Nürburgring. Oh, bollocks. Yeah, no. They usually accept like more than one. That's Long Beach, by the way. That's really narrow. Hockenheim, though. Oh, someone's commented on one of my other videos in the middle of my stream. That's not helpful. Hocken. Piss off, is that not Hockenheim? Or is it Österreichring? Österreichring. What is it then? Hold on, I'm going to see. The last T I meant, I think there's a D before it. I don't think there is. I don't think there is an D before the T in Zandvoort. That's Brands Hatch, I can tell, because that's Paddock Hill, isn't it? Or is it Mosport? I'm awful at this. Yeah, it's Mosport. Turn 1 at Mosport, and that's Watkins Glen. Oh, there's 8 fucking seconds left, and I've got none of the fucking things. Glen. I didn't know about... Yeah, Interlagos. Let's have a look at the next ones. What do I think that one is? That's the Nürburgring. Yep. And that... Show me the picture. Oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, yeah, Fuji because of the rain, yep. That was Girama. I would have never got that. That was Spa. I put Spa, you spoon. Stupid thing. What was that? That was Anders. Oh, okay, Anderstorp. I should have probably got that. I thought I'd get that. I thought I'd get like 100% there, but I didn't. Japanese Grand Prix standing 2018. No. Can you name the Formula 1 top 10s from 1990 until 2017? I will give it a go. Senna. Prost. PK. Berger. Ferrari again. Mansell. Boutsen and Patrese. I think Boutsen goes ahead of Patrese. He does. Benetton, Nannini. Tyrrell, Alesi. Leighton House, Capelli. Bang. 1991, Tyrrell, Brundle. No, he was driving for Brabham at this point, but he's still going to be in here at some point. Jordan, De Cesares. Schumacher. Modena. Yes, it was Modena. Moreno? Did Moreno really get into the top 10 and Schumacher didn't? Okay, that's interesting. Lotus in 1992. Oh my god, Lotus got a top 10 in 1992. Footwork. Again, Footwork getting into the... Is that Mark Blundell? No, it's not. I'll go towards 2017 so I can get all these ones done. Hamilton. Vettel. I'm going to probably go off after this one, guys, because my eyes are really hurting. Vettel. Bottas. Raikkonen. I just thought I'd give you a bit of a longer stream because I took an extra couple of days to put, or an extra day to post a video, and it's a live stream and it's not really that high effort. My next video, the weird thing was with the poll that I put out about which video I should do next. The weird thing that was that as I failed to get my words out, was that everyone in the comments was saying Chris Amon, Chris Amon, Chris Amon, Chris Amon, and everyone who was commenting was saying Chris Amon. But everyone who was what's it called? The actual vote is like 50% towards. Is actually 50% towards worst car in history. Sorry, worst car to win a Grand Prix. So I'm going to have to do the worst car to win a Grand Prix, and then I'll probably do the Chris Amon video afterwards. Force India, that's Hulkenberg. Alonso. Then we go to McLaren in 2014. That's is that Button or Magnussen? It'd be stupid if I put Magnussen. If I knew it was actually Button, it was Button. Thank fuck I did that. Lotus, Grosjean. And then Webber. And then Force India again. Paul Di Resta. No, it's Adrian Sutil. If I can spell him right. Yep. Heidfeld. Petrov. Barrichello. Oh wait, it's top 10 in the championship. Yeah, it is. Barrichello. Another Renault Kubica. Toyota Glockentrulli. And Kovalainen. I'm going backwards. I'm gonna do all the champions and stuff later on once I get to the actual years that they're in. Renault is Fisichella. Coulthard. Wirtz. Wait, is it Della Rosa? No, it's not. It's Montoya, actually, isn't it? I forget that Montoya drove for McLaren in 06. 2004, Sato, or Sato, whatever you want to fucking call him. Hakkinen. Villeneuve. As NASCAR announcers say Jacques Villeneuve, because they can't ever pronounce anything in any accent other than English. Jaguar. Clean. No. Irvine, not fucking Clean. What the fuck am I on about? Jordan in 2000 was Frentzen. Ferrari in 1999 was Sarlo. And Stewart was Herbert. 1998 was not Schumacher. Do I have to put I have to censor that in the subtitles. Damon Hill. Panis. And only one more. Where is it? Footwork in 1992. Christian Fittipaldi. That's a wild guess. If I could not put a fucking bracket in the middle of it instead of a P. Oh, no, it wasn't. Who could it be? Oh, is it Derek Warwick? Or Michele Alboreto? I can just see someone's put it in just after I said it. Yep. So that's it. I am going to come off now, guys. My eyes are hurting, physically hurting, because I've been staring at screens for the last 2.5 hours. I hope you've all enjoyed listening into this live stream. It was initially this thing, creating, what's it called? F1 World Championship, F1 World Champions ranking list, but it turned into a bunch of shit, so I thought I'd give you a bit more good quality content, so we can all have a bit of a chinwag about F1. So yeah, for the inside scoop, so watching today's live stream has been worth it. I suggest my next video will be the worst car in F1 history, and it will be most likely the 2003 Jordan, but it might be another car. If I somehow find any car that's worse that's won a Grand Prix, maybe. I mean, when I told my mate it was going to be that on the video, he suggested the 1975 March, and I was like, it wasn't ninth in the championship bad. But yeah, I hope everyone has a nice day. I've been Nedzo, and I'll see you all later. Bye! How do I stop this thing?